Hi, everyone. This is Jenny Moness from We Didn't Turn Out Okay podcast. Did you know at Great Wolf Lodge, there's adventure for the whole family? You and your pack can splash away in the indoor water park where it's always 84 degrees. There's a massive wave pool, a lazy river, and tons of water slides for your pack to enjoy together. And the fun doesn't stop there. Get ready to explore and play at adventure-packed attractions from Magi Quest, a live-action game that takes place throughout the lodge to the Northern Lights Arcade. There's also a bunch of great dining options and complimentary daily events like nightly dance parties, all under one roof. And the best part, with 23 lodges across the country, you're always only a short drive away from adventure. As a parent who loves family adventures, I love when everything's in one place. It's why I can't wait to take my family to Great Wolf Lodge. So bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Book your stay today at greatwolf.com and strengthen the pack.
If your roof starts to leak or your floors really squeak, you live in a money pit. Money pit.
If your basement needs a pump or your place looks like a dump, you live in a money pit. Money pit. Pick up the telephone.
Fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT.
The Money Pit is presented by Roof Max Roof Restoration and Quickcrete. Now here's Leslie Segretti.
Coast to coast and floorboards to shingles, this is the Money Pit. I'm Leslie Segretti with my main tool guy, Jim Kenzie.
Wow.
See?
I've been called a tool before, but never a tool guy.
I mean this as a compliment, and I also use the letter T, so you're terrific tool guy.
Your theme for
I
this
gotta
hour.
think about you for next week. Blah. I just love making these challenges because, life's not hard enough.
It's what you do.
Listen up, guys. We've got a busy show for you this hour, so let's get to it. Well, summer may be winding down, but there is still time to tackle a few key home improvement projects before the warm weather disappears. So coming up, we're going to share the top jobs to check off your list, from painting and sealing driveways to late season landscaping, so your home is ready to shine through the fall and beyond. And summer can definitely be rough on your lawn. Between the heat, the heavy foot traffic, and all the backyard fun, it's no wonder your grass might be looking a little tired. But don't worry, coming up, we're joined by Dr. Matthew Koch. He's the R&D Research Fellow for Lawns at Scott's Miracle Grow with a PhD in plant genetics and years of turf expertise. So he knows what he's talking about, and he's going to share some smart, easy-to-follow tips to help your lawn bounce back from summer stress and stay green, healthy, and lush. And also, summer sun might feel great, but it's baking your roof. We're going to share how a simple treatment from Roof Max can restore your shingles, extend your roof's life by up to 15 years, and save you up to 80% compared to a full roof replacement. So call us right now at 888-MONEY-PIT. Jim, who's first?
Leslie, we've got Larry now from Arkansas, and he's got a landlord running an extension cord from his home into Larry's place. Oh, man, that doesn't sound good. What's going on there?
The extension cord is plugged into our front porch and is connected to a light at an attached shed. And the real problem is I'm thinking about putting a freezer in the shed, and I strongly suspect that that's not enough electrical support for a freezer.
Ugh. Yeah, yikes. That does not sound good. And it is most definitely not enough electrical support, especially for a freezer that draws so much amperage every time that sort of compressor kicks on to cool everything. I would think an extension cord, even if sized properly for an appliance, is more of a temporary solution and not a permanent solution. I mean, if you want to run power to another building, shed or not, it should be run properly, which is generally underground with cables that are rated to be buried, that are tied to their own circuit, with proper circuit protection. So what's going on there is a shortcut that I wouldn't recommend. And especially if you want to put an appliance out there, freezers do pull a lot of power. So you kind of have this voltage drop when they first kick in because of the draw. And so I would suggest that if it's something you really want to do, you need to have a circuit run there because that's the best way to go.
I will check into doing that. I was concerned
No, you were right to be concerned, Larry.
He's got the extension cord buried maybe a couple of inches some places.
Oh, like he buried a regular extension cord? Like you didn't even know if it's like properly rated for an appliance.
Let alone outdoor use.
Yeah, I mean, that's really dangerous. And extension cords are meant to be air cooled, like not hidden under rugs, not buried in the dirt, none of that stuff. So I would definitely maybe unplug that light for now, be without it for a while, and call it a pro.
Yeah, because they make ground contact electrical stuff, but not your standard extension cord.
Yeah, I mean, when we had the AC dead all like the beginning of the summer, I got window units for the kids' rooms. And of course, in my 1920s house, there's like 2 outlets in each of their bedrooms.
Which are probably on the same circuit.
Yeah, and none of them are near the window. So I was like, okay, this doesn't reach and I don't have a proper extension cord. So I went to the home center and I had to look up what the amperage draw was from that AC unit, make sure that that extension cord was properly sized for that. And then I didn't plug anything else into that extension cord. So it's like, sorry, kid, you can't charge your stuff up here this time.
Right.
You just got to deal with it. But you want to make sure that everything is run safe because electric is, potentially dangerous.
Michelle in Minnesota is on the line, Leslie, with a bathroom floor thing, I guess is what I'm going to call it. What is going on there? You're getting moisture coming up through your floor?
Yes, it's a laminate floor. This is my 3rd summer in this house, and it's the first time that I've had this issue. And it was started around the warm and humid days. At first, I thought maybe that it was my toilet leaking because I had a new toilet put in last summer. But the plumber did come out and pull the toilet, and it didn't look like it was leaking or that the seal was broken on it. So we're thinking that it's condensation from the concrete slab coming up between the slats of the laminate flooring.
Is that laminate flooring directly on top of the concrete slab?
Correct, yep.
Is anything happening to it? Is it just showing up as a stain? Is there any sort of buckling?
It is not buckling or anything along the edges. He thinks that maybe it's a rubber flooring, more of a rubber-based flooring rather than a wood. And so it has not curled the edges or anything like that. It just seeps up as moisture, and it comes like beads up right along the edges of the laminate.
Do you have air conditioning in the bath?
I do not.
All right. Well, maybe the cooler air against the warmer floor could cause this additional condensation. So look, if you want to reduce the moisture that's coming up through the bathroom, there's a couple of things that you should be doing. First of all, you want to take a look at the grading and the drainage all around the outside of the house. I mean, that bathroom is on a slab, so it could get very wet from just being on the ground itself. That concrete is very hydroscopic. It's sucking up all the moisture in the ground, drawing it up into the slab, and then it's going to wick its way up and, find its way into your bathroom, apparently. So take a look at your gutters and your downspouts. You want to make sure that they're clean, that the water flows freely, and the spouts are extending about 4 to 6 feet away from the house. You want to get all of that roof water away and take a look at the angle of the soil around the house. You want to make sure that it's sloping away from the home and not towards the home. You want to think about maybe replacing the fan with one that has a built-in humidistat, because if that bathroom is super humid, it's going to stay on longer to make sure that it removes all of the humidity from that space before you turn it off. I mean, I feel like everybody in my house, the shower, they're done, they turn off the vent fan in there. So it's not always doing the best job. But if you have a humidistat, it won't turn off until it reaches the proper moisture level. You also want to keep an eye on the floor because some laminate floors stand up very well to moisture and some don't. So keep an eye on it. If it ends up that it does need to be replaced, I would paint that cement slab underneath with a couple of coats of epoxy to kind of seal in and stop that moisture from evaporating up into the room. All right. But if you only get that far, don't tear everything up now. Just wait until it's time to replace it before you seal the slab and do that all at the same time. Just keep an eye on it. Try to maintain the moisture around the outside of the house and see if that makes a big difference.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, good luck with that. And thanks so much for calling us. Hey, you want to make our day? Well, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and we'll be jumping for joy. Plus, you guys, your feedback helps us make the show even better for you. Just go to moneypit.com/review. You know, before summer fades, taking a few minutes to inspect and clean your deck is a super important project that you can tackle very easily. You want to sweep away the debris, take a look for any loose boards or nails, and give it a gentle power wash. If the wood looks dry or faded, you can apply a fresh coat of sealant or stain. A little maintenance now is going to protect your deck from the fall rain and winter weather, and it keeps it looking great when you're ready to entertain next season. I love that. I'd love to be ready to just sort of roll into the warm weather once the winter's over. I don't want to do the work, so let's do it now. All right, Jim, who's up next on the phone?
That's because you're still pouting that ski season ended.
True, until like July. And then I'm like, oh, we're almost there.
Here we go, yeah. It's just like hunters and boaters and everything else, yeah.
You're not wrong.
That's great. In Missouri, Leslie, we've got Hugh. How can we help you out today on the Money Pit, Hugh?
I have quite a few Japanese beetles that have really attacked my cherry tree and my plum tree and my raspberries and my rose bush, a couple rose bushes. I've talked to a national company that will help me, but I have a couple dogs that are in the backyard some, and I'm wondering how important is it to avoid chemical sprays to take care of those Japanese beetles.
Wow, Hugh, it seems like they really love everything that's going on in your garden. You know, it's tricky. I think when it comes to pesticides and treating for insects around the yard, garden, house, everything, people kind of think, ugh, everything's bad. But I think if you work with a reputable exterminator who works with products that are tested and trusted by the manufacturers and by that individual, you'll find that most of them are relatively safe when they're applied by these professionals. They're thoroughly tested. They're not going to put anything in your house. If you say to the exterminator, I have pets and small children, they'll say, hey, we won't use X, Y, and Z here. We can use this alternative. I think there's always a solution to kind of find the right treatment, whether it's chemical, whether it's natural, whether it's inside, whether it's outside. And using a pro gives you a better product to get rid of those insects more effectively than you picking up something over the counter, which could be way more toxic. And then you're spraying and overspraying and not really paying attention to how much or where or what's the best way to do it. I think if you're working with a pro who uses these chemicals every day to treat these insects, they will know how to apply it. It will be far more effective than you trying something on your own. So for me, if there was a lot going on in the garden and I was very concerned about what's happening with the plants and the rose bush and the raspberries, I would bring in a pro. And again, they're going to know when you speak to them that we eat these raspberries. I have a dog. I have kids who play in the yard, and they will correctly and effectively treat that in a way that works for you. So I would start there with a pro and see what they suggest.
Okay, thank you. I'm really enjoying listening to your program every week.
Oh, good. All right. Thanks so much for calling. I'm so glad we could help you out.
Thank you.
Well, summer is winding down, but before you pack away the patio cushions, there's still time to knock out a few projects that are easier and way more pleasant to tackle while the weather is warm. So first up, any exterior painting or staining you've got to do, whether it's your siding, the shutters, the deck, or a fence, this is the time to get it done. Paint and stain are going to cure best in temperatures between 50 and 85 degrees. So if you wait too long, cooler nights and damp days are going to mess with the finish and the longevity of that project lasting. Next, you want to seal your driveway. Asphalt takes a beating from the sun, the rain, and eventually the snow. So if you seal it now, that will help protect against cracks and deterioration caused by freeze-thaw cycles. Plus, a freshly sealed driveway looks sharp and boosts your curb appeal. And speaking of curb appeal, this is a great time to refresh your landscaping. So trim overgrown shrubs, edge those garden beds, plant some late blooming perennials or even mums for a splash of fall color. And while you're at it, check your exterior lighting. The days are getting shorter, so make sure that your pathways, the porch, the driveway are all well lit for safety and ambiance. And finally, don't forget to clean and store your summer gear. power wash the grill, clean that patio furniture, organize those pool toys and the garden toys. Storing them clean means that they're going to be ready to go next year without any surprises. So if you're looking for a productive weekend, pick one or two of these projects. You're going to protect your investment, boost your home's value, and head into fall feeling like you've gotten the most out of summer. All right, let's see who we have on the line next, Jim.
We have Eunice in Arkansas, Leslie, and she has a retaining wall that she thinks is a chameleon and keeps changing colors. What's going on, Eunice?
Part of it is the part that's turning white, powdery looking, is the part that's exposed to the weather. It's kind of spreading. It looks like it's, the whole thing will eventually turn white. I don't know if it's oxidizing or if moisture from the ground is making it change colors or what.
Well, that's kind of what's happening. I think there's a few things going on. What you're seeing with sort of that cloudy look there, Eunice, is called efflorescence. And that's basically that concrete is very sort of absorbent, so it's sucking the moisture out of the ground and it kind of evaporates through the concrete block and it leaves that mineral deposit, which is what the cloudiness that you're seeing. Now, when you had this concrete poured, chances are that contractor used calcium chloride to help that cement sort of set up more quickly. And that could be giving you the harder time of perhaps having this epoxy coating sit on top and stay on top. And that's maybe why you're thinking it's sort of falling apart. Have you asked the manufacturer the question as to what might be going on while you're seeing this? Yeah, well, the retailer could be telling you one thing and maybe the manufacturer is saying something else. So I would go right to the manufacturer and speak with them. It's like, you don't know what's being left out from the other conversation getting to you. You could be talking to a field rep who maybe thinks he knows the answer but doesn't. So the first thing you need to ask is, was this floor thoroughly dried before you started the whole process of the floor coating on it? And when you put that paint down the 2 times, was it from the same batch or was it different batches? Because it's hard to think of this epoxy floor not adhering. So it's kind of like an unusual situation there. I mean, I would definitely turn to one of the technical experts at the manufacturer. You should be able to get in touch with them pretty easily and ask them about this. They generally have people there who can help you identify what the issue is, and then they can help you maybe come up with a better solution since they know that product very well. There's probably a chemical reaction going on somewhere that's causing this issue, and they'll help you get better to the bottom of it. All right, Eunice?
Okay, very good. Thank you so much.
All right, well, thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT.
All right, Leslie, dealing with clogged up pipes is never a good problem to have. And we've got Lewis on the line who's doing that exact thing right now. Fill us in, Lewis.
I have an older home that just had a hot water heater system installed, and now I have no hot water pressure. All the lines are on. I think it has to do with the fact that the galvanized piping maybe broken loose inside and caused some kind of blockage. And I was just calling to find out what the best way to unblock those pipes.
Yeah, Lewis, that's no fun. I mean, you got a new water heater thinking you were going to have better flow of hot water, and now you have no hot water. I kind of understand why you're thinking maybe these galvanized pipes, because galvanized pipes were kind of like the first step in plumbing systems. And when you look at a galvanized pipe, you know it's the oldest part of that system itself. You're seeing newer copper pipes on the project itself, but then all of a sudden these galvanized pipes. And what can happen is the inside of that galvanized pipe gets sort of build up with rust and yuck and whatnot. And over the time, it gets so clogged. I mean, think of it as like a clogged artery. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And then perhaps something on the interior of it kind of broke away and now it's blocked. So this could have happened maybe when they put the water heater in, if they didn't change those pipes out, maybe just all of the moving of the mechanisms kind of knocked something loose inside of the galvanized pipe, but you can't unclog it at this point. I think it's a matter of replacing. And to that point, you would probably want to replace it not with copper, but with PEX, which is cross-linked polyethylene piping. And it's really easy to work with. It's super durable. It's much more forgiving than any other plumbing pipe out there. It's great for remodeling projects. I mean, you're able to run PEX right up an exterior wall that you would have other issues with because of a rigid piping surface. Now, PEX will expand. It doesn't break as soon as it gets too much pressure on it. So if it were to freeze, you wouldn't have water for a bit, but it's not going to break that pipe. So it's definitely a good solution for for this, but you do want to get that galvanized pipe out, replace it with something more updated, and hopefully that will restore the flow to every fixture in the house. All right, good luck with that project. Sorry, one project started another project, but hopefully this ends the projects. Well, if your lawn is looking a little tired this summer, don't worry, you are not alone. The heat, the foot traffic, the unpredictable weather, it all takes a toll. But today's guest is here to help you bring that yard back to life. Joining us is Dr. Matthew Koch, R&D Research Fellow of Lawns at the Scotts Miracle-Gro Company. With a PhD in plant genetics and breeding from Rutgers, Matt is a smarty pants who has more than a decade of turning turf science into smart, sustainable advice that homeowners can actually use, and he's here to share expert tips on beating the heat, managing wear and tear, and keeping your lawn healthy and green all summer long. Matt, welcome to the Money Pit.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
So I think a lot of things come into play in the summer months. There's drought warnings, there's the heat, there's all of these things. So how should homeowners adjust based on the changing weather conditions to keep a beautiful lawn?
Yeah, so this time of year, it's really important to look at your irrigation. Lawns, especially in the north, require about an inch and a half of rainfall or supplemental irrigation a week to stay looking good. Especially like this time of year, it's important to adjust for that and provide the appropriate irrigation. Another thing is to make sure that the irrigation is staying in the right place. Adjusting your sprinkler head, adjusting the timing is also really important. You want to irrigate very early in the morning. If people that irrigate late at night promote diseases because the leaves stay wet all night long. Changing your irrigation strategy to irrigating in the morning is very important.
How do you know that you're not overwatering? I mean, is there a way to sort of monitor the rainfall and the water that you're putting on to make sure that it's not too much?
Catch cans, rain meters are always suggested, setting up your irrigation system. This time of year, though, it's kind of hard to overwater. Grass is stressed, it's hot, it's dry, it's thirsty.
Now, I mean, in addition to it being hot and dry, I have boy children, and the lawn is like their favorite play area, from like, sprinklers and games like that to endless soccer. I mean, the lawn's already stressed. How can we keep our grass from struggling just because of the usage?
Yeah, so I love that. I love hearing that people are using their lawns. It's my favorite house plant for that reason.
It looks so great.
Yeah, my daughter goes out and plays on sprinklers, playing fetch with the dogs. So hearing that people are using their lawns, that's what we want to hear. But, of course, it does stress them out. Rotating the stressed areas around is always important. Not putting too much traffic in one area always helps, and giving the lawn a chance to recover. Another great strategy is feeding your lawn. Your lawn is alive. It's a living organism. It requires food to thrive. So feeding your lawn is always important. Keep it looking healthy and have it recover from stress. So Scotts always has great products for things like that. Scotts Turf Builder Summer Guard is a great option for the summer. It's nutrients for your lawn to keep your lawn looking great, and also an insecticide to keep those pesky insects at bay. For a more natural option, there's O.M. Scotts & Sons Natural Lawn Food, which is a new launch that we have that is curated and crafted premium nutrients that are found in nature.
So in terms of feeding and caring for the lawn with these additives, is this something that you're adding to your morning watering routine, or is this more of like a midsummer check-in? Like, what's the best time to apply this?
Yeah, so the best time to apply it is really after you experience some stress. This is perfect for recovering your lawn from damage. So after the damage has occurred, you will feed your way out of it and allow your lawn to recover. So usually before and after stress. So spring feeding is always important, but always following it up with a late summer feeding to recover from damage.
How about mowing the lawn? I feel like people think, all right, I'm going to mow the lawn super short because it's so hot and it doesn't need all of that grass there to add to the stress of it. But is there a better approach when it comes to proper lawn care as far as mowing goes in the summer?
Yeah, I think we all like the look of a nice low-cut manicured lawn like a golf course, but definitely not the most consumer-friendly, homeowner-friendly approach, especially as we're trying to save water. So mowing high is always a great option. Raising your mowing height up to the top of the mowing deck is always a good choice. What that does is it shades out the surface of the lawn and prevents water from evaporating, and also really promotes deep roots. Another great mowing recommendation is sharp blades. Dull blades shred the leaf tip, which actually increases the amount of water lost from the grass plant.
Yeah, because it's trying to heal itself.
That's right, yeah, and it's also a great opportunity for those pathogens, those diseases, to get into the plant. So a nice sharp blade is a great choice, too. I always like sharpening my blade before I go out and mow.
We're talking to Dr. Matthew Koch, the R&D Research Fellow for Lawns at the Scotts Miracle-Gro Company. So, Dr. Matthew, I've decided that's what I'm calling you right now. Now that we're sort of ending summer, I know we're still sort of in the thick of it, but should we be thinking about the fall? I know we're all thinking of cooler temps, but what can we be doing as we're sort of, wrapping up summer, getting ready for fall to make sure that the lawn is great?
Are we at that point already that we're wrapping up summer?
Well, I'm thinking ahead.
I like it. It really is late summer lawn applications that prepare you for the fall. So that late summer feeding with a product like Scotts Summer Guard, great option, really does help repair from the damage of using your lawn all summer and get you ready for the prime growing conditions of fall. Fall is also the best opportunity for you to seed and repair. So really getting your lawn whipped into shape, watered well, deep roots, actively growing, coming out of summer, repairing from damage. That's where you want your lawn to be.
All right. Well, I thank you so much for joining us. If folks want some more info and perhaps it has some help finding the right product for the application, they can head on over to scotts.com, and I'm sure they will find all of that information there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All that summer sun definitely does a lot of damage around the house. So we've been talking about drafts a bit on the show, but I think you also need to consider that for caulking around the windows and doors, while it dries out, that is what's going to cause the drafts. So while you're looking around the house, if you're seeing the breezes, if you're seeing the wind, if you feel a draft, it's not just about replacing the weather stripping. You can take a look at the exterior caulk and the sealants. If you see gaps or cracks in that sealant, you can reapply a high quality exterior caulk to kind of seal things up tight. And you want to do this before the cooler weather arrives. It's definitely a small job that can make a big difference in your comfort and your energy savings, but it's also those small little cracks in these sealants around your windows, around that trim, that can lead to leaks and can lead to problems with the structure of that window frame itself. So definitely take a look now. It's a simple project you want to do while the weather is nice, and it's going to be a big, big saver come the fall season. All right, let's get back to the phones. Jim, who's up next?
Bruce, you've got the money pit. How can we help out?
The house I'm in was built in 78. In the past year and a half, during the winter, I'm getting this white frost that's coming off the bricks, and I didn't know whether that's something to worry about or not.
Well, Bruce, I think what you're seeing there is something called efflorescence, and it's just sort of like a mineral deposit that's left behind when water evaporates from that stone. In your case, it's brick, and I think you're just getting a lot of moisture into that brick. It's sort of soaking everything up like a sponge, and then it evaporates through and leaves behind that sort of white cloudy. I think what you might need to do is like seal your chimney. You could do that with a masonry sealer, and you want to make sure you pick one that's vapor permeable because it allows that stone to breathe. So it's going to stop a lot of that moisture from wicking into the brick and showing up inside of the house.
Gotcha. Is there a certain brand or a certain type I should be looking at?
I mean, most of them are silicone-based. You just want to make sure that it says vapor permeable so that it breathes, and that's going to be the right product for the job.
Well, I'm going to go hit the store now then.
All right, yeah, good luck with that project. Well, summer might be fun for us, but it can be brutal for your roof. All that intense sun, the heat, and the dryness can take a serious toll on your asphalt shingles. It makes them brittle, it curls the edges, and then they're prone to cracking. So if your roof is 10 years old or more, this is the perfect time for a roof checkup, and that's where Roof Max comes in. Now, Roof Max is an innovative plant-based treatment that restores the flexibility and the water-repelling power of your aging shingles. You want to think of it as like a spa treatment for your roof. It's going to rehydrate those dried out shingles so they can flex, they can expand and contract like they did when they were new. And that's critical for handling the daily temperature swings that can really wear a roof down, especially in the summer. Now, each Roof Max treatment can extend the life of your roof by up to 15 years, and it comes with a 5-year guarantee. Now, the best part is the process takes just a few hours. No mess, no hassle, no giant dumpster in your driveway, no obnoxious loud noises from those shingles being replaced, and no nails in your driveway causing tires to be flat. So it really is a huge saver. And if you're thinking about cost, get this, Roof Max treatments can save you up to 80% compared to a full roof replacement. And that's a huge win for your wallet. But this isn't a DIY job. RoofMax is applied by a nationwide network of trained, certified installers, so you know that the job is getting done right. So if the summer heat is starting to show on your shingles, don't wait for those leaks to show up this fall. A quick inspection now could save you thousands and help your roof last for years to come. You can learn more at roofmax.com. That's roofmax, MAXX.com. Jim, let's get back to the phones.
We have Sherry in Oregon on hold, Leslie. She has a question about a cast iron tub. What can we do for you today, Sherry?
What you can do for me is get rid of my fears.
Okay.
All right.
I have a cast iron tub, and soon after I get out of it and it starts to cool down, I hear this horrible, loud snap. Or even if I walk into the bathroom before the tub is totally cooled down.
Like a metal-sounding snap?
Yes.
I mean, that could simply be oil canning. Basically, as the tub is expanding and contracting from being hot and then cool, it kind of pops as the metal expands and contracts. So that could be what you're hearing. I mean, it's unusual with a cast iron tub, though, because those are generally pretty stiff, but that's the sound you're describing to me. Could just be a little bit of an annoyance, as long as it doesn't sound like you've got lumber snapping or something like that. If it's metal kind of like popping, like when you squeeze like a soda can or something and it makes that like ping, like popping sound, that's what it is.
Well, fantastic. I've gotten rid of that fear.
All right, there you go. Now that we've cleaned the slate, you've got nothing to worry about. Thanks so much for calling us, Sherry, at 888-MONEY-PIT.
In Arkansas, we have Jack on the line, Leslie, and he's got a leaky roof. Tell us what's happening there, please, Jack.
My topic is a storm shelter that's made of steel, but it's leaking, and it has leaked since it was installed. Is there some way to detect the leak and to fix that with either welding or sealant?
Oh, well, a leaky storm shelter. I mean, that's definitely something if you don't fix because it's steel, it could potentially weaken that whole structure. So a couple of things. I mean, definitely don't weld it. That seems like overkill, but you might want to try to seal it. If it's like a leak in the seam, you could use something like silicone. But if it's the entire roof of the storm shelter, you might want to replace that itself. And you could use EPDM. It's like a rubberized roofing product. And then you would kind of re-roof it with that, because that would do a great job of keeping the majority of the water off of that structure. And if during a storm you're hopping in there for safety and protection and you get a little bit of a leak, that's no big deal, right? But you don't want it to rot out over time and then that roof becomes weak, because that's what's protecting you. So you want to make sure you keep that structure sound. And, I wish you good luck with that, because you're in Arkansas and there can be some wicked storms there. So definitely get this, fixed up before the storm season kicks into full swing. Time now to open up some emails at moneypit.com and see what projects you all are working on. Jim, who do you have on deck?
We have Ed on deck, and he says, I want to know the best material to use to replace a flat residential roof. My home's roof is flat, as mentioned, and about 6,000 square feet. That's a good-sized roof. I'm looking for the best combination of cost, durability, ease of maintenance, and repair. Please help.
All right. So the first thing that comes to mind is this. You need to know that putting on a flat roof is a specialty project. It's not something that's done regularly by your traditional roofer. It's done by a commercial roofer, and they do that all the time. So I'm always cautious when a residential roofer wants to put a flat roof on when it's something that they're not that familiar with. And then they can make a lot of mistakes. And, when these mistakes happen, they can cause a lot of issues. So in terms of the product that you select, you should consider these things. The first one's called EPDM. It's basically a synthetic rubber membrane. It's black and it's commonly used in commercial buildings. It's incredibly durable, and it's kind of like having a solid sheet of rubber tossed over the house. You're going to get at least 25 to 30 years out of it, but keep in mind that because it's black, it's going to absorb a lot of heat and it can drive up your cooling bills. So definitely keep that in mind. The other option is a lighter colored roof called TPO, and it's a thermoplastic polyolefin, and it's basically a single ply white membrane. It's used in both residential roofing and commercial roofing, but if you've got a flat roof or say a low sloped roof, it is a good option because it will keep your room cooler. You probably are going to get 25 years out of a TPO membrane, but keep in mind that even though it's white, when it goes down, it's going to get dirty. So if you're looking down at this from a second floor, it is going to look dingy over time and will need some maintenance to clean it. So those are two options there for you. And it's definitely all about the product used when it comes to a flat roof. So good luck with that, Ed.
Well, if you've got little ones running around, you know how quickly that curiosity they have can turn into danger. Leslie's going to share 3 smart ways to make your home safe without you going nuts.
Well, when it comes to kid-proofing your home, let's be honest. Unless you're living in a rubber room, you really can't eliminate every risk. But with a little common sense, you can tackle the big ones. So first up, windows. They might seem harmless, but window blind cords are a serious hazard for babies and young kids. And the fix is pretty easy. You can shorten those cords and you can tie them up out of reach, or better yet, you can swap them for cordless blinds. It's one of those small changes that definitely makes a huge difference. Next up, furniture tipping. I mean, kids are climbers, so things like bookcases, TV stands, even a dresser is like the greatest jungle gym ever. So you want to anchor them to the walls with brackets or safety straps, especially anything tall or too heavy. And while we're on the topic, most stoves and ranges come with an anti-tip bracket, but you have to install it. It doesn't do it itself. It comes in that drawer and actually use it. It keeps the appliance secure if a little one decides to pull on the oven door. Or, like many little kids, they love to sit in the warming drawer, so don't let it tip over. And last, the stairs and the railings. You want to check that your railings are at least 36 inches high and that the spindles are no more than 4 inches apart, so no little heads can squeeze through. Plus, you want to make sure that every staircase has a sturdy handrail with a closed end. Now, if that rail just stops short without wrapping back to the wall, you can catch your sleeve or loose clothing, and then that's a recipe for a fall. You know, a few smart fixes like these can go a long way toward keeping the little ones safe and giving you some well-earned peace of mind. All right, guys, that's a wrap for this hour of the Money Pit. We covered a lot today, from protecting your roof with Roof Max to getting your lawn back on track with expert advice from Scott's, plus some smart safety tips to keep your home kid-friendly. If you missed anything, you can catch the replay or check out our show notes at moneypit.com. Remember, you can do it yourself, but you don't have to do it alone.
On the Money Pit Radio Show. On the Money Pit Radio Show.
Pick up the telephone.
Fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT.
If you work as a manufacturing facilities engineer, installing a new piece of equipment can be as complex as the machinery itself. From prep work to alignment and testing, it's your team's job to put it all together. That's why it's good to have Grainger on your side. With industrial-grade products and next-day delivery, Grainger helps ensure you have everything you need close at hand through every step of the installation. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.